Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and U Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Leadership Lowdown. And today I am so excited because I get to sit across from actually my new best friend, Jodi Light. And it is so nice to meet you. You are with Shining Star Productions. Did I get that right?
Yes, Shining Star Entertainment.
Entertainment. There you go. There you go. I am so excited to meet you because not only are you one of the most recent Torch Award winners, you are the shining star of so many different things I see and hear. And I'm just excited to share your story with so many. So get us started. Let us know a little bit about you and how you got into this amazing industry and starting your company.
Well, thank you so much, Jodi. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yay.
And true confessions, this is my first podcast.
Okay, I love that I'm your first. I got to tell you, I love that.
You'll
I love
always
that.
Be my first, Jodi Low.
I love it. And can I just tell all of our listeners today, we have been playing with the fact that we have the same first name and the same first initial of our last name and having way too much fun with that
Get
all
the low
morning.
and the light duo right
the
here.
The low and
folks.
light duo.
Big
I think
trouble.
We might have a stage show. See,
I
we
know,
might
right?
have
Double I can book this act.
I think we've got this. I think
so big double trouble right here.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. So tell us about you and you. I mean, and just learning the bits I have because you are my new best friend. I've read and heard and learned about you, and I'm just like chomping at the bit. So tell us everything that we can know in the time that we have about the amazing Jodi.
Well, it has been kind of a Cinderella story journey for me because I didn't start out as a business owner. I started out performing and singing when I was 2 years old, getting paid to sing when I was 2. And then when I was 5, I was on the Mike Douglas show, which, we discussed that you actually know what the Mike Douglas show is.
I do.
I try and tell people it's like Oprah or it's like being on Jimmy Kimmel or something. Like it was like biggest show at the time when I was a real little kid. And I had a whole interview with Art Linkletter and Mike Douglas and the whole thing. I've got footage.
Yeah.
Have to say.
I need the footage.
We have to have lunch.
Yes.
Let's talk.
For sure.
And then I had my own TV show out of Dayton, Ohio. I'm from Lima, Ohio, small town. Mm-hmm. So I had my own TV show, kids show out of Dayton, Ohio, Emmy Award winning from ages 8 to 16.
That is crazy.
Then I had a radio show. Then I moved from Lima to Columbus, Ohio, and then I got to tour with Fred Waring in the Pennsylvanians. So I was 17 and he was 82 and I was on the road with Fred Waring and it was an amazing experience. We got to tour all over the country and I played at Gamage and that's how I kind of found Arizona. I'm like, wow, this place is close to Vegas, it's close to LA, but it's warm and sunny and there's a lot going on here. I just felt like it was a really nice place to land when I was 20.
Yeah.
So I moved here when I was 20 and then I got a gig with a band here and then we got a gig in Atlantic City. And then we lived on the road for 4.5 years straight. Then we got a gig in Hong Kong. Then we lived there for a year. Then we came back, and then the bass player in that band ended up being my husband. Like, we've been playing together for 10 years. And then we came back, we got married, we started the Shining Star Band.
That is wild.
And then we joined the BBB in 2006 or something. We became accredited since 2006.
Wow.
That's
a long journey.
Yeah. So we've been in... I expanded into Shining Star Entertainment in 2019 in January because I just wanted to take care of musicians and artists. There were artists that weren't getting paid enough. They weren't getting paid on time. They're getting put in direct sunlight and not being fed or given water. And I was like, you know what? Because I know how to do it. And I had relationships for years with all the resorts here and with clients. I thought I can talk the client talk, I can talk the musician talk, and I can take care of everybody and help out the whole community. So then I started that, and then it eventually led to me being asked to bring in a big name artist for a charity at Desert Mountain Country Club.
Okay.
Because they wanted to kind of do something bigger than they'd done with Desert Mountain Care, which is a charity that raises money for Honor Health and Mayo Clinic for cancer research. So we brought in Gary LaVox and produced that whole, the lead singer with Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
Mr. Life is a Highway.
Yeah.
So we brought him in, and we really helped catapult them into a higher net profit utilizing live entertainment. I'm like, well, this is a big part of what I want to do. I want to be able to make a difference, help take care of clients, and help take care of artists. So it was a win-win-win.
I love that. So literally, just figured out, how do I take my natural born gifts and then parlay that into helping other people really do the same within their own lives and careers and making those partnerships happen.
Well, I do think that that's like the hokey pokey. I think that's what it's all about.
Right.
I think taking care of people. I know you're a mom. I'm a mom.
Yep.
I think always taking care of people comes first in my book, and I think that that's. It's got to be integrated in your business.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, and I know just in all that I've heard about you and learned about you that stewardship in general is a big piece of who you are and what you do and your belief system. So how does that play into all of this? Obviously, with the cancer research and different philanthropic endeavors, but how does that a piece of the work that you do today?
Well, you can feel when you're doing something good, it feels right.
Yeah.
And, this whole journey, it was, I didn't anticipate being this business owner.
Yeah.
And coming into the BBB, all those businesses were already established. They were plumbing businesses and AC businesses. And this was kind of like that movie Robots, see a need, fill a need, where I was seeing that we could make such a big difference with live entertainment and supporting this community. But then we could have fun at the same time. And it's a human experience because people are very, there's a lot of people that say we're just so divided. Well, I don't believe that that's how we're supposed to be. I think that we are supposed to be symbiotic. All animal successful species are very symbiotic. And music is something that unites.
Yes.
It can be done. I do it. I'm still gigging 3-4 nights a week. I can bring the whole room together with a song. Yeah. So it can be done. And I think that we can reach a more evolved version of ourselves as a species by balancing technology and human interaction. So that was the underlying thing for me, that this is a profoundly human experience. And it's something that I know that I'm super grateful to do, and I know that all the artists, I represent over 500 artists in Arizona, and I book a bunch of the resorts and country clubs and book major artists, but it all comes down to us being super grateful to do what we do, and then we're sharing this human experience. And that's part of the stewardship, and I think stewardship counts on every level. Yeah. Whether you're putting a smile on the face of the person at the grocery store, you're like, you're doing a great job, and gosh, you just have such a pretty smile, or whatever it is, that on every level, if you can give an extra dollar or round up, or if you can share something with another business that helps them, or you learn from each other. Like I'm learning so much from you, because here you're a professional keynote speaker, and I thought you did a great speech at the Torch Award in 2023. And I was like, wow, this is really cool stuff. We're learning from each other.
Absolutely.
So this is something that I'm hooked on. I think once people get a chance to really practice stewardship, I think it's something that they want to keep doing. Yeah. I mean, you are my people, because I absolutely, I like you. I believe that there is an absolute necessity in not just in our community, but in our world, to how do we support one another and how do we all win together? Well, it's by giving of yourself and your time and your talent and doing the things that can say, hey, brother, sister, how do we all come together? So I love that you do that through music, and what a beautiful thing. Actually, just was at a show last night. It was for my dad's birthday, and a Jersey Boys. The music, awesome. That's a great show.
And talking about music bringing people together, right? Yeah. And like Frankie Valli, the Four Seasons, and I've got my daughters there who are like, I know some of this, and then my dad is like, oh my gosh, he's got like tears in his eyes. And I'm like, that is just the power of music, so that you get to do that on a daily basis. What a gift. What a beautiful, beautiful gift. Because it truly is. I mean, you think about any culture. I mean, there's whether it's beating on a drum or whatever that might be. It's everything has a sense and a connection to sound and music. So I love that.
Well, and you just hit the nail on the head, because it transcends. Yeah. It transcends all colors, all ages, every walk of life.
Yep.
it doesn't matter if you have a fortune or nothing. Music helps to soothe our souls. It helps to bring us closer to whatever is good in our lives and help us cope with things. It's, it's really therapeutic for so many people. And I always look at it that way, even though I'm still gigging and then I have this whole other business during the day that I'm doing. I know that people tell me all the time, I came in here and I had the worst headspace, and now I feel so much better. Like it just really helps to relieve the brain of, again, the division or the negativity that a lot of people might be walking in the room with. And that's getting to my point about the philosophy of a performer and how this works on every level. Because when I sit down to play for an audience, I am thinking, hello, I love you. Because I look at them like all my children, and what do they need? What does this guy sitting here need? What does this lady over here need to hear? I know I can help them. And it's funny because sometimes songs will just come to me and I'll play them and they'll go, oh my goodness, that was our first dance. Or, I really needed to hear that song tonight, because you never know what somebody's going through out there. Somebody might be sick. Somebody might be going through a hard time. Somebody might be having the best day of their life. You just don't know as a performer. So I always kind of give the audience the credit up front that I know that I can do something to help them and make their day better. And when I was teaching students, that's the philosophy I would give them. I mean, it's about expressing yourself, but it's also about what you have to give to every single audience member and how we can unite them.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I just love that, Jodi, so much, because just again, not knowing you and having a big history with you, just knowing about you and the work you do, and then having you be able to share that firsthand of what that philosophy is, because I get that you're standing in front of people, and in what I do, it's obviously different but similar. Standing in front of a room full of people, it's like I'm here to contribute to you. How do I best give to you, and what do you need? And I do think that there is something in the space that we're in terms of being in front of people. There is something that you innately feel, and you just get a vibe for a room, and you're like, what do they need most from me today? And how do it's like you got to get out of your head, and you can only come from here and just go, let me just give from that place so that they feel it. And when it lands, it lands, and it's magic.
That is even an infant feels that.
Yeah.
People feel when you care about them, And, let me just give BBB some props here, because when I reached out to Shelley Bradley, it was during the pandemic, and we lost all of our jobs. Like I had 3 jobs. I was a teacher, I was an agent, and I was a musician. I lost all 3 jobs. So, I called Shelley because I'm thinking outside the box. I'm hustling, wow, how can we make it better for everybody? And they were having a golf tournament, a fundraiser, right? And I called Shelley Bradley. I'm like, hey, do you need entertainment for your golf tournament? And she says, I don't know. That's a really interesting idea. Let me think about that. But in the meantime, because I'm like, I need to regrow my business. We're just struggling here. She's like, go to the Industrious Women's Summit. And I said, okay, if you tell me I should do this, then I'm going to do this. And so I went to the Industrious Women's Summit, and it changed my life.
Oh, my gosh.
To listen to all these fellow women business owners, and I love learning from men as well, but to listen to their struggles, their triumphs, their challenges, all walks of life, all different kinds of businesses. It didn't matter that it wasn't related to my business. I learned so much from these ladies and gained so much inspiration from hearing their stories. And then I was like, you know what? It helped me believe that, you know what? We can do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a difference, and I'm gonna take from every single person. And then the networking opportunities. There's so many resources at the BBB that I was not, like this very thing, the studio that amazing Jake set up. That's like incredible. It's this podcast studio here at the BBB that members can utilize. I just never realized how many resources there are here, and it literally changed my life. And then the Torch Award, the whole process for applying for it really made me step back and analyze what our mission statement is, what our vision statement is, all the different levels that we would have to, I'm like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to fill out this application. Then I looked at the application. I'm like, this is grown-up stuff. I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not up for this right now. This is a lot of questions.
No, but it really made me soul search and dig deep and figure things out, like define things about my business and what we wanted to become. and then adding in all the stewardship, it's just been this amazing journey. And a lot of people don't know what it is, because I tell people I play it at Ocean Club, at Masters Ocean Club in Kierland. Yeah. That's kind of where I play a couple nights a week, 2-3 nights a week. And I was telling people, and some people were like, yeah, I do know what that is. And then a lot of people were like, what is that? And so I really have been trying to bring awareness of the resources here.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing what you guys are doing. And uniting people. And
it is one of the most beautiful, beautiful places, because when people walk through the door, whether they've been accredited businesses since 2006 or whether they're like, what is the BBB? Or, I heard about that years ago, but I don't know what it is. And you walk into the campus, whether it's in Phoenix or in San Diego, Orange County, Fresno, we have all these amazing places and spaces to connect with community. And now more than ever, what do we need but each other? So to have that, and like you said, whether it's the Industrious Women's Summit or all these different ways to connect with people, to learn, that we've got Breakthrough Accelerator where you can learn all about how to launch your business and all those things when you're just starting out. I don't know about you, but for me, I was figuring it out as I went and learning, and wow, what to be able to cut that learning curve, gosh, that would have been amazing, whatever it was 20 years ago, and so I look at all those resources, again, we're
sisters from another mother.
Yes,
hey.
Absolutely.
Hey. Well, I can literally say I've never walked in this place and been to any event here and not walked out like a better person, like learning something and being a better business owner.
Yeah.
And just being so inspired by all the other businesses that are here. So I don't know. I'm happy to scream from the mountaintops about what a great experience it's been. It's changed my life for sure, and therefore I'm gonna pay that forward to everybody else. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So when you, just to really understand, so when within your business, you are booking any type of musical acts, is there a certain genre or anything that's music related, or is it perform? Like, what? Tell us.
I could book you.
Oh, okay. Let's do
speakers.
Yay! I've always needed an agent. We're talking, Jodi. So you can book any talent for any.
I do.
Got it.
I book everything from a soloist, duo, trio, full bands, name artists. And then we produce all those events, and I book corporate events at Scottsdale Fairmount Princess Resort, and they're wonderful. They also help support this, and a bunch of the country clubs up in Scottsdale, and then I work with destination management companies. So whatever it is, whether it's showgirls or Brazilian girls or comedians or, any type of music, every genre of music. We I have a full gospel choir that I've booked for 20 years. That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so we're lucky we get to work with big name artists a lot of the times, and it's a very exciting, rewarding business. But I love my artists and I love my clients and I love taking good care of everybody.
That's
so
awesome.
It's a blast.
That's
yes.
awesome.
That's going to be a goal. I've got to book Jodi Low.
Yeah.
Nice,
this is good stuff. This is
corporate
good stuff. Well, and the funniest thing, destination management, most people are like, what's that? That was my very first internship when I was in college. I'm like, I like this industry. So it's very parallel. But anything that's bringing people together and creating an experience for them, I love that you get to do that work. And you're obviously so passionate about it. So.
Oh, well, thank you so much. But the thing about charity fundraisers, too, is that people don't want to just go to a fundraiser and feel like they're getting hammered, for money. So what we do is we make it just look and sound so fun. We bring in dancing horses, or we're bringing in the band, we're bringing in the auctioneer. We're making a difference in a package so that they don't have to go to a bunch of different vendors. They can come in and we will take over their charity. I help them conceptualize for their fundraising, because I've learned a lot about nonprofits and how to get to the chase, how to make it really fun and energetic. And so that is a real passion, and anything to do with kids too, and cancer research or whatever we're doing. We're helping keep kids in their houses when they're sick with Care Fund. That's another one of my charities. I have several charities now that I work with, and I just want to keep them coming because, that's the most fun work.
That is
knowing you're making a
work.
difference.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. And so when you look at your career and the whole trajectory of where this has all gone from 2 years old singing to, what it is that you get to do every single day today, when you look at that, was there a mentor or a certain person or a certain moment that you were like, okay, that was a shift? You mentioned obviously the Industrious Women Summit, but when you kind of go back in time, what was it or when was it where you're like, this is what I want to do, or this is where I'm headed, or who were those mentors?
Okay, well, I can tell you the deciding moment.
Okay.
Because I'd been singing at the restaurants for a long time, and there was a young lady that sang with me. Her name is Bree Brown, and I just saw her getting so objectified on these gigs, and I saw musicians not necessarily being treated well. And the Michael Sam from the Scottsdale Fairmount Princess, he was running all the corporate events and hiring all the entertainment. And he was also in the destination management business too. And I'd known him for a long time. He happened to be there that night. And I was just like, I think we're more talented and smarter. And I think we can do more than just perform. I think we can help other artists. And I came to him that night and he said, you know what? Speaking of that, I think you should come talk to my team at the Princess. And so he was a big mentor because he gave me the opportunity and gave me the credit that I could handle this and that I could come in and start a business, because I came in with all these artists, all these prices, and they're like, this is great. Nobody's ever done this. So you're getting this all organized, so it's easier for us to be able to provide artists for our clients that need this entertainment faster. And then I was fighting to help get Bree out of her situation too. And so she became my business partner for a little while, and then she ended up moving to Oregon and living her dream life up there. I think she has a brewery or something up there, but she definitely helped a lot in the process of getting this whole thing done. And when you're fighting for somebody else, sometimes it's kind of easier than just being focused on yourself.
Yeah.
I'd much rather give a present than to get one, but I love my present. I'm not giving it back. So anyway,
I love it. So, for those of you that are only listening, it's a U Improved coffee mug. Let me tell you, this is just a big gift. There is a pen. There is a pen.
I use pens every day.
See, amazing.
But so Michael Sam from the Princess, Bree was a big help. My husband and my family, Mario Mendeville's a big world-class bass player. He's my husband, and my kiddos, Alex and Toby, they were all supportive. And then the Desert Mountain Care Chair is Jill Porcelato, and she gave me this opportunity to bring in Gary LaVox. Now that's, they're taking a risk to me a little bit. I mean, yes, I've booked stuff for years, but they gave me the opportunity to really take it to the next level. And we had booked other major artists, but this was something different. This was taking a charity to a higher level. So she gave me the opportunity and believed in me enough. And now, we're sewn at the hip forever. And we brought in Don Felder from the Eagles last year.
That's awesome.
We're looking to try and get Michael McDonald for next year.
Nice.
So we're just, just thanks to all the artists, thanks to all the inspiration for people trusting us. And that's, we're in an industry, like I said, that this was see a need, fill a need. This was built from the ground up, this business.
Yeah.
And so musicians can get a bad rap.
Yep.
Oh, those musician types. Oh, they're going to be flaky. They're going to be drug addicts. They're not going to show up. None of my people are like that. They're all professionals. They're all great people and have a positive attitude, because I won't book anyone with a huge ego or if they're all about themselves. That's not what we're about. Yep. So we're creating a business that's something that's reliable so that people can just enjoy it. Yeah. It's none of the stress, none of the drama, all of the fun.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and anyone that speaks to you for a minute can tell just authenticity just oozes from your being. So I love that too, because that is a big piece of it. And when you're connecting businesses and artists, you've got to have the real there. The egos, there's no place for that. So I love that. That's almost a criteria of yours. Like, hey, you got to be down to earth and real and
absolutely and dependable, and have a positive attitude. That makes all the difference in the world. Sometimes we have to be flexible. Sometimes we have to move our equipment. Sometimes we just have to have a little bit of self-awareness and do whatever's best for the client, because it's their memory that we're making.
Yes.
We're creating memories for people.
You truly are. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Well, I want to ask you some fun questions that I love to ask each guest. And so with that, because I think these questions are just sort of those fun things to get to know someone a little bigger and better and deeper than we often do in just a discussion. So here's my big question to start us off. What is your favorite word?
Love is the first thing that comes into my head. I mean,
love.
It's stronger than anything.
I
think it beats out everything. I love my people. I love what I do. And I guess the other would be thankful, because I got to start with that every day, and every night. I'm a big person. I'm not a big person. I'm a very actually 5'2¼ person. But I'm a big advocate for self-programming and helping others program and programming your subconscious to be positive, because it's a choice. It's not an accident. So we have to get up and decide who we're going to be every day. Yeah. And I really try and help implement that to my artists and their headspace, so that they can have a better mental health space. And to, if I get, when I taught kids for 11 years through Paradise Valley School District, and I help them self-program in the morning as well. I just think it's something that we can all
absolutely
do. So
love and thanks. Love and thanks. I love it. So what would be your least favorite word?
Least favorite word. Ego. Mm-hmm. Just being all about yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a comedian called Jodi
Tenuto.
Yes. Yeah. And she'd be, I'm the giver goddess. I'm the giver goddess. I could just stay here all day and make you pancakes. I think that, again, sharing and giving of yourself, it's just so rewarding. And then it's something that we share. I'd rather share moments with people all day long than be focused on myself.
I so get it. So this one may be a little obvious, but I'm curious how you'll answer. What turns you on most in terms of I can't say the word.
Yes, you can.
Creatively.
I believe in you, Jodi Low.
Thank you. Creatively, that's what I'm looking for. Creatively, spiritually, emotionally. What is it that just lights up Jodi Light?
Well, I make something from nothing every day. I encourage my family, and we work together too, because my kids are everybody's creative in my family. Okay. So we're all symbiotic in our household. And I think that it's important to get up and make something from nothing every day. I love that's what music is. You're sitting down and it didn't exist, and you're sitting down and you're playing a song, you're singing a song, or so I just think being creative is important. It's really important to be analytical too. I don't want to put down anybody that's super analytical, because I love those people and I love their brains, and I probably need to learn a little more from those folks. But being creative is such a healthy thing. Yeah. I think. And again, those are the things that lead to that human experience. Absolutely. So I think the more we can work together and do things together is my inspiration. Definitely.
I love that. So if you look at the flip side of that coin, then what turns you off?
I'm going to probably go back to the philosophy of a performer. I mean, there's performers that only want you to look at them, and you can feel it. And kudos to all performers. It's all a method of giving. But my philosophy is what can I do to share, and what can I do to give, and what can I do to create something that will mean someone to someone. Certainly it's a therapeutic thing for my own headspace, but more so, again, it's something to share. So when people what turns me off is people that don't give others the credit or the space to be themselves. Controlling people who are very self-centered, people who are negative. I'm just not into that. I'm going to get away from it.
Yeah, just stay away from all that energy.
I'm going to anything that's toxicity. I'm going to try and steer away from. Yeah, but yet I still will try to empathize with people, because sometimes people are just having a bad day. Yep. Or somebody cuts you off in traffic and you're like, but I'm thinking, maybe their mom's sick or something. Maybe something. You never know.
You just never know.
So I do try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
The grace of that.
Yeah, but that would probably be my pet peeve, would be negativity. Okay.
So what sound or noise do you love?
In my program for kids, I have this thing called home base.
Okay.
where you go to somewhere in your mind, you breathe deeply. It's like a meditative thing. And I did it for kids, and I do it for grown-ups too, actually. And they have to go somewhere that they feel as though they're very safe and comfortable and chill and relaxed and happy, like truly deeply, like just they don't have any expectations on the outside. It's just they're happy. And so I think my my home base or my favorite sound would be just hanging out with my family and my dog and watching a great film, or, you know, listening to great music or writing music, you know, those sounds, those joyful sounds of moments of happiness are things that we have to hang on to.
Love
you know, it's a challenging world out there.
Yeah.
So we have to help each other stay happy.
For sure. For sure. Is there a sound or noise that you hate?
A sound or noise that I hate. I don't know, fingernails on a chalkboard. That's seen in Jaws when Quint does that thing on the chalkboard with his fingernails. Yeah, that would be it.
That would be it.
That would be it.
So if you had to choose a profession other than your own, other than what you do, what would you choose?
I'm a huge film person.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, my kids are both screenplay writers.
Nice.
Yeah. And my daughter's a filmmaker and an SFX makeup artist. So she's making monsters and zombies and, you know, slit throats, all this crazy stuff all the time. And then my son's like an animator. So, and she's 23, he's 19. So, I'm sorry, I just got so excited about what they're doing. What was the question?
What profession would you want to jump into?
So, you know, I end up being like the person who's helping them with their set design or helping them find shoot locations or whatever. And I love film. It's such a great medium, again, that can make a difference. And, okay, so here's a little fun fact. My grandmother's brother wrote the screenplay for The Bells of St. Mary's, which if you watch It's a Wonderful Life, which it's a Frank Capra film, and George Bailey's running in front of the marquee, it says The Bells of St. Mary's on the marquee in It's a Wonderful Life. The reason being is that Dudley Nichols, my grandmother's brother, and Frank Capra were best friends. And Dudley Nichols won the Oscar for the screenplay for The Informer. I think it's 1939. And he had just created the Screenwriters Guild, right? And they weren't treating the writers well. Surprise. So he rejected the Oscar for the first time in Oscar history. This is my grandmother's brother.
Wow.
Well, so Frank Capra kept the Oscar for Dudley. And 10 years later, he tried to give it to him again. They still weren't treating the writers well. And this time, second time, he rejected this Oscar. And so the third time, he had cancer, and he was not going to make it. And Frank gave him the Oscar, and he took it. And so it went to my grandmother in Wapak, Ohio, Wapakoneta, Ohio. And then it went to my mother. And on our mantle in Lima, Ohio, my sister still lives in my mom and dad's house. There's one of the most famous Oscars in Oscar history.
That is
sitting on our
so
mantle.
cool.
So we've gotten to hold
this is just Oscar. A family of entertaining and performing and film and music. I love it. What a fun family.
It is fun. But, you know, I always... With kids, you know, you want to stay close to their inclinations and feed their inclinations and then let them do different things and then water them with love, you know. So it's really fun to work together. Like my son was just shooting a 16-millimeter short film, and my daughter was there doing the special effects makeup, and my husband's there helping me bring all the crafty and helping with the soundtrack, and then I'm there doing hospitality, and you know, it's really fun to work together and on every level.
That's so neat.
And it keeps you close to them, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you also think of things that you would hate to do, like a profession that you'd be like, oh my gosh, that would be horrific, what would that be?
I don't know, working in that show with the dirty jobs. Yeah. Like, I don't think I could handle that.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I like to try and keep things organized. So God bless these people that help the hoarder people to go in and clean up all their stuff. Yeah. I mean, maybe I could still do that, but it would be really, really tough.
That would be really tough, yeah.
It'd be really tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, when you feel overwhelmed, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you make a list?
Oh, 100%. And I will add things to my list that weren't even on the list if I did them, just so I feel like I can cross it off. So
it's so 100%. Satisfying to cross off.
There's nothing better.
I get a yellow highlighter and just cross off those.
I'm like, I did something that isn't on my list, so I better write it down and cross it off.
Yes, you have to write it down first, even though you already did it.
Yeah.
so you can cross it off because
Absolutely.
it's satisfied.
Yeah.
So for me, being organized is something that's like paramount.
important.
It's really helped,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
helps your
100%. Oh,
not
yeah.
have anxiety,
Yes.
help you from not being
Keep you
overwhelmed.
calm. Yep. Keep you organized. So last question for you. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God, he or she, say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I want a big party myself.
Love that.
I just want everybody hanging out and singing and having fun. No sad tears for me.
Yeah.
I don't want a funeral. I want a party
I
because
love it.
that's what we book.
Yeah.
We make parties for people. We make memories for people.
Yeah.
So I just want people having fun and I definitely want there to be music.
Oh, I love that. Well, I think you bring music and light and love everywhere you go, Miss Jodi. I just have
thank
so
you.
enjoyed this. I love this.
I know. I don't want to stop talking.
I know.
about it all
I'm
about
like, well,
you.
we certainly need to keep this conversation going. Well, in the interest of this show, we will wrap it up. But I want to ask you, when you look at your career and all that you've learned and all that you've done and all that you experienced, what is one, because this is the Leadership Lowdown, what is one leadership tip or piece of advice or something that you would say to someone listening today that just might be good for them to hear?
Well, the keys to success to me were definitely putting that stewardship into your business and learning from other businesses.
Yeah.
So that you keep growing, because it's not the strongest, it's not the fastest, it's not the smartest. It's the people that adapt the best as to the changing world around us. I know that you're really in tune with this.
Yep.
So I would say learn as much as you can from each other, be kind to each other, and make sure that you're open to adapting, keep learning, keep growing, and then just serve good for goodness sake without necessarily expecting something in return, and do the right things for the right reasons. Those are the things that seem to work the best to get to the point where we actually won that Torch Award. Yeah. So I just want to help people.
I love it.
And
I love it. I love it. I was literally going to say, well, there's no question why you were the winner of the Torch Award last year.
Oh, thank you
yeah,
so much.
so well deserved. What a pleasure getting to spend time with you, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers are going to enjoy this so much as I did. So thank you for being here. And if people want to follow up or learn more about you, is website best, or where's the best place to reach Jodi?
Yes, we are at shiningstarentertainmentaz.com. You can come reach out to us anytime. Follow us on Instagram, which is SSE_AZ.
Okay.
That's on Instagram, and Shining Star Band or Jodi Light on Facebook. But I definitely like you, because you make a big difference with the position that you're at here in the BBB now, and you're doing a fantastic job. And then just public speaking, I think that's something that I was really inspired by you that year. I was really inspired by Frank Cook, our keynote speaker last year. And I think that's something that I want to do, too, is get out there and try and, help people through public speaking as well. Just bringing more and more awareness to more and more people.
Love it.
Let's go out and spread the good stuff.
I love it. I love it. Jodi Light, you are the good stuff. Thank you so much for spending time with all of us today. Loved learning about you and your story. So thank you.
My complete pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me and having me. This is a thrill.
This is so much fun. Well, with that, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining us on the Leadership Lowdown. My name is Jodi Low, your host, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, leaders are learners, so stay curious and keep loving and learning.